Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Tales from the TARDIS Jewel and Beyond, a Dungeon Crawl Classics actual play. I am your Judge Will, and joining me today we have Brandon, Brian, and Dave. So, Brandon, why don't you introduce yourself and your characters?
I am Brandon. This is Carter. Today we'll be playing Bubba Tunda, the cannibalistic warrior, and Kronk, the chaotic dwarf. And we will be hopefully feeding some blood to the blood god and adding some skulls to the skull throne.
Great. Brian?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm Brian, and today I will be playing Joan, formerly Jude, who is a human warrior, and Darrow, who is a human cleric, recently back from the dead.
Just if you haven't paid attention before, Joan is actually the body of Jude's mother and is imperishable. So,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of stuff taken.
Okay. Yeah.
You were there for that, Brandon.
I was. Still processing that information.
Still blowing your mind. Dave.
I'm Dave, and I'll be playing Faye and Kim, 2 level 3 elves. They are both neutral, as the elves are supposed to be.
Yes, great. All right, so you last session saved Christmas Town / Santa / Ulesh, the god of peace, and ended up in his temple. Which is this golden temple. It's amazing. It has a tree that has oranges that grow on it. All sorts of stuff, but there's no followers. He did task you with trying to find a sufficiently powerful cleric to take on the mantle of his servant on Earth. I guess we're on Earth. I don't know.
Arth?
Yeah, on this planet that
Earth adjacent
that we haven't really named in the past, because who needs it? So you stump out of the Temple of Ulesh and onto the streets of Punjar, and kind of all around the temple are going to be a bunch of people, because this is once a abandoned temple, and a temple that was for many years. Now no one was worshiping Ulesh, and so it was by a decree of the Overlord not to be trespassed upon. But as the inside has been totally shined up, so has the outside, so it glows golden in the sunlight. And when you exit the temple, besides the people kind of crowded around looking at it, you're struck by the cleanliness of the temple district, especially compared to the souk where you've spent most of your time. The streets are broad and well-maintained and full of worshippers scurrying about, and priests and prophets of the panoply of gods of Punjar, wine sellers, merchants selling, all sorts of religious accoutrement, all that kind of stuff. So, what is your plan now?
That's a great question. What do we decide what we're going to do from here forward?
I think a couple just quick housekeeping things. We have a fairly not insignificant pile of treasure that we've accumulated in our adventures. Maybe we could convert that into some gold and stock up on some real supplies, so we're not handing out chunks of spider meat and using broken 10-foot poles in our adventures anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think, some sort of market where we can exchange goods for specie.
Okay, sure.
I also feel like we could use some healing potions. I think that would
Okay, well, let's do one. Let's sell it. Let's get rid of everything we don't want, and then we'll buy whatever we need after that. Two separate transactions.
Also, to be fair, I was looking at y'all's inventory, and you do have 800 days of rations.
Yeah, I don't think food's ever really been a trouble for us.
Well, at some point we had to do the math, so we started going like, oh, we should grab whatever we wanted, and then all of a sudden it's like Oregon Trail, we're just shooting buffalo when we already have all the food we can ever use.
But while we were in the frog temple, it was mentioned that there are antidote potions that could save us a fairly significant amount of headache that we don't own any of. So I was just thinking, hey, we've learned some hard lessons. Maybe we should avoid those same lessons in the future.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Is there anything else on your buy list, Brandon?
Yeah, I had a little list put together.
So I guess the question is, are you just going to try to find some people to sell this stuff to here in the Temple District with the Bazaar of the Gods? You could try to find the various merchants, like the different kinds of merchants. Like there's probably, for example, we've got a craft street, we've got a cheap street, we got a gold street, a silver street. There's all sorts of different places where you could maybe find the correct things, and if you do that, maybe we can just roll some random encounters in the various places you go to and see what happens.
Yeah, that sounds appropriate.
I like that idea.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start there, and we can start thinking about our next steps after that.
Okay, cool. So what do you want to try to sell first?
Brian, do you have anything on your list that you want to acquire?
I also wanted to try and see if we could find someone to craft a horn of Gondor from like my Yeti horn.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
And beyond that, I think I'm pretty set. Like Joan and Lysander are pretty good on gear.
Yep.
But Darrow, his stuff's like a little eh.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so armor's on my list too. So yeah, an armor, and that was on my list. But yeah, then I have the yak fur and the yak accessories, I guess, and I have one of the other horn too. So the horn was on my list for Yoshimi, so I'm going to hang on to that. But something to do with the boots and the fur, or the fur. Sorry, like boots or something like that.
Okay.
Boots with the fur.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Trying to see if I can get a little boost to my agility, maybe.
It sounds like you're trying to get some magic items, which might be a little bit difficult.
Okay.
So how about we say you head off to...
Before we start the buying, can we do the selling first?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's two vendors that I would like to see. I would just like to see a jeweler, because we have a bunch of jewelry, gems, like silver and stuff that could be melted down, crystals and that kind of stuff. Figure all that could go to the jeweler. And then I want to see if we can find like an oddities vendor, because we have like a golden ostrich fan and like a crystal skull with gems in the eyes and shit. Like I figured that would probably go better to a oddities vendor, and then we can just accumulate all that money and go spend it.
Okay, cool. So I think probably the way to start is to head to the crafts quarter. So you kind of start making your way, and as you head to the lower districts, you've noticed that the layout of the streets and neighborhoods seem to have changed, and you quickly become lost. After stopping for an hour or so to get your bearings and ask for directions, it occurs to you that the roads, once full of mud, are now a lush carpet of carefully manicured grass. Many of the decrepit buildings have been replaced by ornate buildings made to appear as though the homes are made of living trees, and upon closer examination, you realize that, in fact, many of these homes are trees, hollowed out and shaped, but alive and growing. Even among the buildings made of stone, flowering vines crawl the walls, filling the air with fresh scent as you make your way to Craft Street. But you do eventually find your way to Craft Street, and it runs... Yes?
Can you tell me more about the gardens and the trees a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting. The town seems... Where before this was kind of like a city of various buildings from like different time periods and different time frames. Now there's more similarity, right? And where it was kind of like this was full of... There's still beggars and, poor people and all that, but there are... Suddenly, you realize that you haven't been charged a fee for going between neighborhoods. And you do notice guards actually marching through the streets, and I guess
Has it been a long time since we've been gone? Because how did these trees grow from the last time we were here?
I don't know.
Okay, good to know.
It's an interesting question you ask, Dave.
So are these guards? They don't look like the Thieves Guild?
No, these guards, when you watch them, actually all appear to be elves patrolling the streets.
We created a power vacuum by deposing the Thieves Guild, and the elves have stepped in to fill that vacuum.
So, the kind of elves like Faye and Kim, or the kind of elves that we found in the Land of Misfit Toys?
The elves like Faye and Kim. Yeah, and everything about this world feels slightly more magic, I guess I would say, than it was before.
Some powerful druids stepped in and grew some trees and shit.
Yeah, it's strange. You feel like you're in the same city, but also not in the same city.
Can we stop one of the guards real quick? Just
Sure.
hail them and see if they'll stop and talk to us.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we can. The elves can do it. That might make it easier.
Sure. So you guys kind of grab one of the elves walking by, and they say,
we speak Elvish. Yeah, we're like, hey, man, what's up?
Hail, citizen.
Hail, fellow elf.
Hail, fellow elf. Say, how can we help you? Have you had troubles in the streets of Punjar?
Do you speak common? My friend has some questions for you.
He says, yes, yeah, of course, yeah, totally.
Sure. So we can assume we're speaking in common?
Yeah.
Okay. No, far from it. In fact, we've been on quite the journey, and it would seem that the last time we were here, there was fee structure in place and a bunch of ramshackle buildings, and it would seem that some sort of belligerent overlords had a vice grip on the city, and now it's lush and vibrant, and we haven't been accosted at all. What accounts for these changes?
They say that has never been the case while we've been here. After the rise of the High Lord Yoshimi, glory to her name, this has been a peaceful city these last 60 years.
60 years? 60 years.
They say, yes, that's how long I've been a member of the Watch.
My friends and I have much to discuss. Thank you for your time.
They say, no problem. Please do not commit crime. And thank you for stopping. And they
here.
hold out their hand. Little.
Yes. Quite.
Sure.
Kronk will pull out 7 copper and stack them one at a time, stack the coins in his palm so they clink with each one.
You do remind me of a dwarf that's been wanted for breaking and entering of the jeweler's house. Maybe we should take this one in. What do you think? And their hand is still out.
Oh my god.
As silver.
Just to clarify, what
I'm imagining this is like in Home Alone 2 kind of situation. It's like you've basically given them the equivalent of a stick of gum.
Okay.
Gold maybe? Yeah.
We've been gone for apparently 60 years. And when we had left, that amount of money would have sustained a farmer for several months. We did not just magically. You know what? Maybe you're not the kind of guy that is deserving of a tip. You ever thought of that? Maybe you're a shitty guardsman.
He's puts his hand on his sword and he says, "Do you want to say that again, dwarf?"
Maybe you aren't worth tipping.
Oh,
hey,
no.
hey. Guys.
Yeah, the elves
Darrow
break it up.
is-
The elves break it up.
Yeah, Darrow steps in front and he's like, calm yourself. And he holds the dwarf back and he goes, here. And he hands him, how much did you give him, Brandon?
7 copper.
7 copper.
Oh, I give him, I don't know, say a gold piece. And
Yeah.
let us be on our way. Excuse our friend's manners.
Yeah, he takes the gold and he says, good, or thank you. I'm glad to see that some people have tact in this day and age still, and they're going to pocket the gold and the 7 copper pieces and kind of just turn on their heel and march off.
Ulesh be with you, friend. What are you doing? Don't go instigating problems with the dwarves here. Obviously,
He
they run this
literally
show.
said there was no crime in the streets when he himself is a criminal. Is this not the justice that we are here to mete out?
Well, I mean,
we
he
haven't paid
wasn't
our
asking
taxes
for a
and stuff
bribe
for
until
years.
you offered him one, and then you offered him a shitty one. I don't know, man. This kind of seems like it's on you.
It wasn't shitty. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I guess they
How
expect
fucking
more.
old are you? Have you just been sitting in this town for the last 60 years?
No.
Like,
Well,
No.
actually, I was lost in eternity while I was dead, and so actually, I'm ageless. But yeah, I haven't been in Punjar in a while.
cool. What did you do with eternity? Like solve world hunger, cure cancer, fucking master magic?
I mastered my fears, yes, and I also came to know the Lord of Peace, and now I'm his emissary.
So your job is to keep peace.
Yes, through violence if necessary, but
But
I hope
only
it doesn't come to that.
when I seek to do violence against who I feel is unjust.
Well, you want to fight a whole town of dwarves, friend? I don't see that going well for any
We
of
kind
us.
of got lucky that now we don't. Our enemies are all gone, and now it sounds like our friends are kind of in charge here. So
Our friends are in charge here. I need a drink. Let us sell these wares so that I may take some of our. Well, I fear to if 7 copper cannot send a guard on his way, I fear to even see how much they're going to charge me for a drink.
Probably more because you're a dwarf.
and elves are notoriously racist.
So are dwarves, though. So I mean, it all works
It's a
out.
great combination. Yeah.
So is everyone in the fantasy world, it seems.
I know, right?
So just a quick summary of what they told you. That
Yeah.
guard has been a guard for 60 years. The overlord is apparently Yoshimi, who didn't come with you on your adventures. And yes, the city is changed. Maybe for good, maybe for bad. Hard to say. But it does seem that the aspect of the city that sucked before of people trying to take your money at every point and the graft and the bribery, it's just moved into official channels now. So, it's no longer a gang lord watching over a corner. It's now the guards. That's kind of what you can surmise from that experience, I guess. That's what I would say.
Well, I think we should try to meet Yoshimi.
Okay.
I feel like
Are there any
Noah.
other dwarves walking about in the street?
Yeah, I think there are. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in passing, Kronk in Dwarvish, as he's walking away to any dwarf that may have seen the kerfuffle. In Dwarvish, he's going to be like, treat fuckers, am I right?
They're all like, the one that overhears you is like, I wouldn't say that out loud.
Let's watch your tongue,
I
brother.
would be careful with who you say that to, friend. But you do well. I guess let's continue with you find yourself before a building that a large building on intersection of Silver and Cash Street, somewhere in this general vicinity.
For the record, in the DCC guidebook, a chaotic dwarf is called a dissident, and I feel like this fits.
Now is the time. All right, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Rage Against the Machine, bro.
Yeah.
And you find yourself outside of this building, and it says Jen Gao's. Yes. And like looking in, there's like all sorts of rings and gems in the shop window, which I think is also like has bars over it. And there's some wealthy people in there looking at the gems and stuff. So do you go in?
Kronk is going to take all of the gems, jewelry, and other like silver items out of his pocket and hand it to either the elves or to, I'm sorry, it's not Jude anymore, it's Judy.
Joan.
What is it?
Joan.
He will hand it to either the elves or to Joan and be like, something tells me I'm probably not going to be welcome here either. Why don't I hang out outside so I don't ruin your chances of getting a fair price?
Seems good. I guess the elves can take it. One of them will, Kim will throw it over his shoulder.
Okay.
His higher strength.
So you enter the room and a dwarf, because of course it's a dwarf.
I judged too early. I deserve this.
Greets you and says, welcome to Jen Gao's gem shop. I am Jen Gao, the gem merchant. Or did you come to buy or sell today? What brings you into my store? Would you like a nice ring, perhaps? A gem for a lover? A ruby to place in the hilt of your sword to show your taste? What can I do for you?
We're primarily here to sell, but we might do a little buying as well.
Sell, you say? Sell. Excellent. Well, what have you to sell? Let me see what you have.
All right, go ahead and whip out the ledger.
All right.
We have 2 crystal prisms worth 15 gold each.
Mm-hmm. So he looks at these and he says, crystal prisms. Well, these are made out of glass. These prisms are clearly made of glass and therefore not particularly valuable to me. Glass is not in short supply in the city at the moment. So I rolled a 9. So what do you get?
Oh, I got a 12.
Okay. He says, but they are well cut. They are quite beautiful. Yes, I believe I will pay 15 gold for each of these. That is an acceptable.
All right, you guys keep doing your thing. I'll take care of the ledger work here. So the next item is we have a bag of pulse copper worth 15 gold.
Pulse copper. All right. He looks at it and he spreads them around. And he says, this is interesting. Perhaps this isn't really the kind of thing that I would buy. I would maybe give you 5 gold for this bag.
That's still not bad. I mean, do we know of someone who would want to buy it for higher than that?
Let's focus on let's just kind of get what we can get here. I'm assuming we're not going to take too much work to find a better deal.
I agree. 5 gold's pretty good. You got to junk dump every once in a while in your RPGs.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What next?
So we're taking the 5 gold?
I'm just going to tell you, he's unless you want to resist him, he's going to undersell you on. He's going to underbid on all of this stuff.
Yes. Can we just keep rolling personality checks to see if we beat him?
Sure.
Well, I thought we were doing that anyway, so I rolled a 16 before you guys started talking.
He says, well, Copper is. I could use this for the bands. All right, I'll give you 15 gold, I suppose, for this.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Right, there you go.
We have exotic jewelry worth 35 gold.
Okay. So this is quite interesting. Looks to be quite old as well. But I would have to clean it. I would give you 20 gold for this piece of jewelry that you have here.
Roll to 15.
Okay. What do you say to? So I'm not just going off the roll. What do you say? Yeah, give me something to work with.
I was waiting for that. Yeah. We say this is vintage. As soon as you clean it up, it's going to be worth way more than it says on the sticker price because it's a classic.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So you did beat him. It says, okay, you're right. That is a good point. That's a good point. All right. I suppose I can part with 30 gold for this.
Okay. And Joan pokes him in the chest and he goes, "From now on, can you just give us a fair price on all the items?"
You can roll like a personality check there. That is just going to be like a standard DC.
A standard 20?
Yeah. Like you're going to want to beat like at least a 15, I think. So 15 18. Or higher. Okay. Okay, cool. Then yeah, he's like, "Wow, you're real pretty." Because of that, yes, I will. I'm happy to make a deal. So then, yeah, you can just sell the rest of it. We can just skip through all.
Okay,
this.
So silver goblet worth 35 gold.
35.
Would he take it for the pure silver value?
Yeah, he's just gonna. You can just sell all of these things for the listed notes there.
It's gonna be.
You want some meat, bro?
So the last one list.
Spider meat, dog.
Is there an item that you need?
Yeah, for the Warhorn of Elfland, I need to adorn it.
Okay.
With jewels. Oh wait, it's like way more than that. Oh, okay. No, it's like way more. Don't worry about it. This is like a whole side quest. Okay.
Okay.
Especially because we like lost our opportunity at those really good jewels. If we had those, maybe. But yeah. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
I thought the number was way lower than this.
Well then, there you go. So yeah, you can just sell all the stuff.
All right. What else we got, Brandon?
I'd like to visit an oddities vendor or like a curio vendor, if you will.
Oh, is that all we have for the dwarf, though?
Yeah, that was all I gave you to go sell to the jeweler.
Cool.
I did not give you any of the stuff that I had intended for the other.
No, for sure. I was just wondering if it was like, okay, that's all the jeweler stuff we have.
Yep.
All right. What was the grand total?
Okay, we're at 458 gold now.
Okay, cool. Let's just start with that. Okay, cool.
Okay. So you head out. I guess maybe you ask the dwarf where you would go to find a curio vendor. Is that?
Yeah, if we have a good relationship, yeah.
And so he says, if you anything that can't be found in the legitimate businesses in our city could be found in the Plaza of Dark Delights. But beware and be warned that strange things happen in that plaza, and the shops only open after dark.
Oh, where is that located?
It is. There it is.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, that little area there. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
That's memorable. All right. And then we can. I think probably the armorer is on the way there. Maybe though.
You want to go to? Oh yeah, you wanted to go to an armorer. Yeah, I think there's weaponsmiths and armor smiths in.
I feel like a dwarf would know a good one
in the crafts quarter. So, but when you walk back out into the street, let's roll an interesting event in the crafts quarter. So, one of you roll a D8.
Who's feeling lucky?
Oh, I rolled a 5. I thought.
Oh, okay.
I thought Dave said I'm feeling lucky, and then as my brain caught up to my ears, he said, "Who's feeling lucky?" And I was like, "Oh, me, I guess I'm feeling lucky."
Okay. So then this is what you find. You find you find an armor shop, where there's like going out of business sale. Everything must go with like the yellow and black
Okay.
stripes around it. And yeah, there's a merchant in there selling weapons and armor. And when you walk in, he's like, "Oh, welcome. If you would welcome to my shop here. Let's see. Let's just roll a random name for the shop. How about?" And it's called Vela's Extraordinary Armor and Shields. And yeah, she says, welcome to my armory and shields shop. I've made the hard decision to leave Punjar, and so everything must go.
I don't mean to pry into business that is not my own, but do you mind if I ask why you are being pushed out of such a lovely place? Like, look at the glorious trees, and clearly it's busy outside. Surely you do not lack for foot traffic through your shop.
She says that anyone can live like a king in Punjar if you have the fortune of an emperor. Says that it's just the cost of living here is high, price of goods and services are expensive, and the city is just filled with graft and bribery, and I can't afford to grease that many palms. There's a new licensing fee for weapon sellers that was put into place last week, which I can't afford to pay, and if I can't afford to pay my licensing fee, I have to shut down my shop, and it's very expensive to live here, and while business is good, it's not that good.
I don't want to derail the whole session with it, but Kronk would like to commiserate with her over a beer. He offers to buy her a beer after she's done with her affairs here,
Sure.
and maybe we could discuss more about how frustrating it is to be constantly accosted by people who are demanding payment for offering nothing of value in return.
She says yes, I would be happy to do that. Maybe we can go carousing in the carousing quarter if you would like. That's where I would spend my time, perhaps at either the Silver Eel or the Golden Lamprey. Basically the same bar.
Lovely. I have a gentleman I would love to introduce you to. His name is Babatunda. He is somewhat of a noble himself.
Oh.
From his locale, although I doubt he would. Kronk looks around at the gets quiet as like an elf patrol kind of walks by outside, and he's like, I doubt that his nobility status would be well respected here in Elfland.
Okay. She says, yeah, well, maybe after dark we can meet at one of those two places, and I'm happy to talk with you about.
Okay. All I'm going for here is trying to milk her for information.
Okay.
That's the point of that side conversation. So
what information?
I don't want to derail the whole session with it.
Yeah, think about what information you want, and we can come up.
Yeah.
I can come up with stuff. Okay, so she has all sorts of armor, weapons, and stuff here. I guess the question is, what are you trying to buy?
Yeah, like I said, I would like to get like a scale mail for Darrow.
We have scale mail in our shared inventory.
No one's wearing it?
No one's wearing it.
I'll take that then. And then I was reading about servants of Ulesh, and apparently while they are guardians of peace, they're proficient in every weapon because Ulesh is.
Mm-hmm.
So like he currently has a mace, but I would also like him to have like a sword or something.
Sure.
So if she has like a one-handed short sword or something.
We have that lightsaber sword that she can have.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll use it until it explodes.
Until it explodes?
If you roll a one,
it explodes when you draw it.
Oh, I missed that. I only wrote down the 1d6 plus the 1d6 fire.
Yeah, no, they explode if you roll a 1 on turning them on. So
I'll still
Okay.
take it though,
All right.
if you
look,
want.
it's a 5% chance that it explodes in your
Yeah,
hand.
it's fine.
I have a question to her.
Sure.
Do you have a helmet?
Yeah, she can sell you a helmet.
Do you have any magic helmets?
No. She says
Do you
regular.
have any magic items?
She says regular, schmegular items.
Like, can I upgrade my current armor?
Yeah.
I currently have mithril chainmail.
Oh, damn. Probably not. He walks in with like the best armor in the land, and he's like, "Can I upgrade this?" And she's looking at you like, "Sure. This is the Emperor's new clothes. It's clearly a massive upgrade."
It's like,
Why
wow,
don't we
we
just
don't make
upgrade it?
armor like this anymore, and we all talk about how this is the best armor that's ever been made. No,
yeah. I don't. She's like, well, if I weren't leaving town, I'm sure I could get the materials to make you to custom make you some plate armor, but that would take at least a month of time, and I'm not going to be around.
No, that's
Plus,
fine.
we'd have to buy the materials, and you're an elf, and mithril is particularly difficult to get a hold of. As you may have noticed, all of the guards that are walking around are elves wearing full plate mithril armor. So it's
Sure.
yeah, the price of mithril is just exploded in the last
Fucking
since
carrots,
I've
am I
been
right?
here. I think this is actually just classic Adam Smith supply and demand issue.
All right. So,
Plus
what are
greasing
the,
palms, plus
can you
bribes.
show me your finest arrows, please?
Yeah, so you can just bring regular bow and arrow arrows.
It's for a mithril longbow.
She says, "Oh, you want arrows with mithril tips?"
No, I'm just asking if you have any interesting kinds of arrows other than my standard arrows that I currently have.
Oh boy. I've come up with something like this in the past. Why don't we say she has 2 types of arrows? She has arrows that they have back hooks.
Okay.
So they do additional 1d4 bleeding damage per turn.
Okay.
And then she also has arrows that are made. The end is just like a slug, just like a lead slug. So they're subdual arrows.
Okay.
So
how much?
Why don't we just call it like a silver per arrow?
Okay.
Something like that.
Can I have 10 of each?
Sure. You
If
will
I
have
like
to
them, I'll come back for more.
keep track of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Cool.
Just 10 of each. That's why it'll be easy. I'm not gonna buy like a
Yeah.
1,000 or something.
Cool. Yeah. You can. So she sells you 10 bleeding arrows and 10 subdual arrows.
Okay. And then I think that's it.
Okay. She says, "Well, if there's anything else that you need, you can come back. I'm hoping to sell all of my stuff by tomorrow, and then leave this accursed city forever."
Actually, I guess I have one more question. Do you have anything that explodes?
No. She's just
No.
well. That's not really her, right?
Forte. Yeah, she's not an alchemist.
Yeah. If you found definitely. If you found an alchemist, I think that would be something that you could.
I don't know. Maybe technology's come a long way in 60 years. I don't know.
Technology never changes in fantasy stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
static.
Silmarillion. I finished reading the Silmarillion, and it's covers 10,000 years. It's just we're still using swords and bows and arrows and shields and basic armor. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yep. So you leave, and you're back out on the street of those random shops. Okay. Yeah. So what do you do now?
If nobody else has a preference, I'd like to go find an alchemist.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I think pretty easy to find out. Yes. Okay. So I think you can find in the craft quarter also an alchemist. And at the let's roll. Someone roll me a D100.
Can do attitude.
Find the names.
20 even.
20. So you find an alchemist shop, and on the wall outside of the alchemist shop, there is a placard, and it says something along the lines of like Iminix the Alchemist Shop, Sorcerer Guild member in good standing.
Okay.
And when you go in, Iminix, there's no one in there, and then all of a sudden there's a puff of smoke and sparks, and a man stands before you in like a blue robe, and it says, Iminix sees all, welcomes you to the alchemist shop. What can I do
like
for
you. We come in search of potions and other libations that may impart us boons during our adventuring travels.
He says, I am no mere bartender selling booze for carousing. I am a true alchemist.
Boons with an N. Boons, like Boons.
Oh, yeah. Also, I think Faye and Kim, you guys are like, this wizard is bullshit. He's like literally cast like a very low level example of cantrip. And Kronk is like, oh my god. And they're like, okay. So he says that generally, so I guess he doesn't say this, but what hopefully you pick up from that actually is the trick to restoring health in this is to never mind, he'll sell you stuff. He has several bottles behind, and he says, what are you looking for? What can I sell you?
I don't know how to phrase it, but I request something that could help me regain a decent number of hit points.
Yes. Okay, great. So he is going to grab a like glass jar that just has like a screw top on it. And he opens it and he says, I brewed this myself. Smell it. Does it not smell delicious?
I don't care if it smells like pond water, as long as it restores hit points.
You sniff it and it does smell indeed like pond water. And he says, yes, made from mushrooms I found growing in my basement.
Oh man. How many of these do you have?
He says, how many would you like to buy? I'm selling them for 10 gold a piece.
Great. Well, I would like to check out their efficacy first.
Sure. So he's like, well, then let's drink one to you and I and health. And he like takes the gulp and like is like, oh, and hands it to you.
Okay. Kronk is going to pull out his little dagger off of his thing, and he's just going to slice the inside of his wrist and then chug the rest of the bottle.
Yeah, it tastes like you're drinking straight ethanol.
Love it.
And why don't you make a personality save or whatever it's called in this game?
Tastes like mother's milk to a dwarf. Ooh, that's not ideal. Come on, big dice roll.
Not ideal.
Well, I rolled an 8 on the dice, and I only get a +1. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
It heals you for 1 hit dice +4.
Okay.
But also, Kronk is drunk.
Ooh,
And so
even better.
you're just gonna roll down the dice chain on anything physical.
Okay.
For
Well, I dealt myself 6 damage, and I only healed fucking 1.
+4, +4.
+4. Okay, I healed 5.
Yeah.
So I only net -1 on that exchange.
You're not gonna bleed out anymore.
And I'm drunk. Kronk is like, how many of these did you say you had?
He'll have. Oh man, I don't want to go crazy here. He'll have. Why don't we say like 6?
Okay. The 60 gold is a lot of money. So Kronk will look at his allies and be like, he like holds out like the rest of what's in there to the elves and to I'm sorry, I forgot your character's name again, Brian.
Joan and Darrow.
Joan. That's right, Joan. And then he like proffers it to Joan and proffers it to the elves, and he's like, it's good shit.
This dwarf is unhinged. Joan rolls her eyes and she's like, I'll be outside.
Can we get all 6 for 50 gold?
Here, let's have him roll his little personality save. Oh, he succeeds. Says, nope, 60 gold. I spent a lot of time making this. It distilled for 2 weeks in my basement. And as I said, I did pick all of the toadstools that were growing down there.
Isn't he also drunk, though?
No, he saved his... He made the drunk save.
Oh, that's what that was for.
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He drinks that shit all the time. He's
Yeah.
got an immunity
This is
built up.
gambit. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting high off his own supply, it doesn't hit the same.
I'm kind of like making this up as I go, so I think I have a quick write some rules here about using these potions.
Do you have what's the most common like scented perfume being sold right now for women in the city?
You're gonna trust this guy?
The most popular. What's the one though? What's the most popular one? Yeah.
Dungeon
I can
Crawl
go outside and ask. I can go outside and just ask.
Dungeon Crawl Classics doesn't give you they give you a table for everything until you need a table for like fruit and flower rolls. He says it's the springtime, the season of what's a plant that's in season in spring? Daffodils. The daffodil perfume is currently very much in rave by the in the noble quarter.
Can we smell the daffodil?
Sure. Smells like a daffodil.
It does smell like daffodil. Okay.
It does smell like daffodil.
Just making sure. I want to confirm. I don't want to take his word for it.
Look, he has like 3 spells.
I'm just making sure.
He's
like
pretty good
daffodil?
at those 3 spells.
Does it smell? I mean, I don't know if I had to like roll for it to see if it was actually.
Yeah, no, it smells like daffodil.
Cool.
I don't really know where you're going with it, so I don't. Really
They want to blend in, so they're trying to get like the kind of like classic, just something nice, so that they blend in with the rest of the people in the city.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Darrow is like looking at all the wares, and he picks up a bottle of like black viscous fluid, and he's like, "What is this?"
He says that is the darkest secret of what was this guy's fucking name? Iminix. Of Iminix, a draught of my own design. It is. I've captured the very essence of pitch. And
what does it do?
If you drink it, you burst into flames.
You said it's pitch?
Okay.
Yeah. I think
resort type deal, huh?
Dave's K and Fib and K like perk up at pitch, and they're like, Darrow, don't drink it.
But
you know that you could set it on fire.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's why I kind of want to buy it. Actually.
Yeah. It's not like explosive, but you could throw it and like it would burn for.
It would burn. Yeah,
we'll say like D6 rounds or something.
Sure, I'm very, very interested in this. Okay, I should play it cool. We're in the shop. I'm not role playing that. But yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay. These are that's kind of Darrow. Do not drink it. But on the other hand, it might be useful for other purposes. How much for the pitch? So we're not going to drink it. We don't believe your bullshit about it being good for us.
Says, well, it's like never trust the elves to know what is good for them and what is not good for them.
Yeah, we only live forever. Yeah, no idea what we're talking about.
I went to the wizarding school for 26 years. Did you not see? I am a member of the Sorcerers Guild.
And that was probably half your life. For me, that's a couple percentages.
That was my hot girl summer right there.
Yeah. It's like, I'll sell it to you for.
Weren't they refunding tuitions for the Wizarding Guild School for defrauding students?
Says, I have never heard of such a thing in my life. For 3 gold, you can have my potion of pitch.
I will take it. I'll take it for 2.
You drive a hard bargain, elf. Fine, 2 gold.
All right, take it. Thank you. Good deal.
What else? Oh, Iminix.
That's all. Brandon, you need anything else?
I had heard you in your tit for tat with the elf women. I heard you mention that you only know 3 spells.
Oh, they could sense that. I think that this is what Faye and Kim can pick up from this.
Okay. The dwarf is going to inquire about possibly some antidotes, like anti venom.
Yeah,
that too.
Brandon, we basically did. So we have detect magic. So let's say we did detect magic, and we detected some magic, but not much magic.
Not much.
Right?
But you
didn't. A positive reading, but very low in terms of statistical significance.
You didn't deign to relay that information to the dwarf, who's just blundering about, thinking this guy's the greatest magician this side of the.
Well, you haven't seen like having such a good time. We got drunk. It's fun. It's like your thing, right?
I did.
No one's trying to rain on your parade, Brandon.
Yeah.
What is that? Our fault?
Yes.
You're detecting magic, and we turn around, you're hammered.
Yeah, he does have an antidote that he can sell you.
Lovely.
For, I don't know, 2 gold. Feels like it has to be worth more than that.
Nope.
That's fine.
You said 2. Slam my 2 gold coins down on the counter, and he's like, "Done." Grab the potion.
So this is just this is an equivalent to neutralize poison or disease. Cleric spell.
Yep. And then Kronk feels like he's getting the better of that interaction, so he kind of slams his gold down on the counter, grabs the potion, and scurries out of the shop.
Okay, let's go. Do anything else before you head to the City of Weirdos?
City of Weirdos.
the Palace of Dark Delights, aka the City of Weirdos. Love it.
Like I said, I currently have a 7 personality and a 8 personality. So we're basically, like I said, we're basically just annoying goth girls.
Okay, well, it is the middle of the day, so I think it's gonna take some time before you can do anything. But I guess what else are you gonna do while the daylight rests? Are you just gonna go get wasted or what?
No. Well,
no,
maybe.
No.
Great point, actually. I won't say no. I shouldn't have said that. What do other people want to do?
Well, I'm gonna meet the lady later for a drink.
Yeah,
so I probably shouldn't get too wasted. But I mean, we can tie one on. We can get 6 beers deep. We just can't go 12 beers deep.
Well, we're gonna eventually end up in the City of Weirdos, and they said weird stuff happens there. So
yeah,
say that weird stuff.
City Weirdos. My interpretation of that as a dwarf was that's where all of the less desirables have wound up. So I'm just envisioning walking in. There's dwarves and halflings and they're just normal fucking people that just don't fit in with the elves version of what they think normal people should be like.
Yeah.
I was expecting like illusions and mist and mazes or something.
Yeah, I'm sure
Oh.
there's some
Like
sleight
Bourbon
of
Street at
hand,
night.
street gambling going on. Maybe a little bit of mist there.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. But okay, so yeah, is there nothing else we need to do? Is there? Should we? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Brian, thoughts? You there?
I am. Yeah, I don't have anything else I need to do.
Okay. Well then, why don't we? I think there's a. I feel like there's like some random encounter things that could happen in here. So why don't we maybe see if I can find that real quick. Random street names. Well, that's fun. I suppose. Why don't you? Someone roll a D14. Oh,
9.
9. All right.
I'm glad I was on mute because I rolled a 1.
Well, this isn't actually that fun. As you're finding a tavern or a bar or what have you, there's just a crier that say, hear ye, come to the new tavern. Let's roll a random tavern.
The Silver Eel.
No, a new tavern, not...
An existing tavern.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's new to us.
Everything except the silver eel.
The Silver Cask. Drinks, buy one, get one free. Totally no thieves allowed. No, he doesn't say that. That would be silly. That would get him killed.
That would also, thieves would immediately go like, "Oh, we need to go in this place."
Yeah, right. I was gonna say that was 60
Right.
years ago that the Thieves Guild was in. Let it go, man. Like that time is long gone.
Yeah. Come to this, whatever I said, silver something.
Silver cask.
The Silver Cask. Get a drink.
Sure.
That sounds too expensive for me, guys. I'm gonna look for some place called like the Copper Horn.
A wooden shoe.
The wooden shoe. Das Boot.
Yeah, we don't want to go to a new place. You never know with a new place. We're gonna pass
Maybe
this
too
opportunity.
trendy for you.
Well, you just never know. It might not. It might suck. They just might not know what they're doing. It's new.
Yeah,
It's really literally a dice roll. Let's go to a place that's more established.
All right. So you were trying to go to a smaller place. You
More
find
established place, I think.
a more established.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you dip into a place called the Cracked Chalice.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more like in our price range.
Yes, and
bar.
Yeah, inside the Cracked Chalice are just townsfolk, drinking really cheap, watered down beer, eating millet porridge, and kind of just, hanging out in there. And let's see, I think there's like can I roll a random character? Oh, here we go. Why don't we just roll a random one of these people? Someone roll a d20.
Okay. Let me actually do it this time.
Oh, okay.
17.
17. The only person, the most interesting person here, for sure, is a tall. Let's call it a tall woman. Dressed in furs, shaved bald, tattoos covering her skin, and she is there are just empty glasses all around her, and she's kind of like laying on the table, and when the bartender kind of like walks by, she just like grabs him, and he's like, she pours her another drink, and she just like sits up and glares at you while she just like chugs it. That's the most interesting person there.
Wow, I know a drinking challenge when I see one.
So yeah, I guess we walk up to the bar.
Sure. What do you say to the bartender? Does this thing have a bartender? The innkeeper. See, get out of here with your 5e shit. Oh no, it could be a halfling. It's a halfling.
Yay!
Nice.
And she says, what can I get you? Welcome to the Cracked Chalice. Haven't seen you in here before.
We haven't been in the city in quite some time, but we're back.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we heard this was one of the more established places in town.
Yes, I have been here. She says, I have been here since Salt Tongue destroyed the old Punjar.
Oh.
And I built my house, or built this tavern 70 years ago, in the great rebuilding of the city, under the glorious Overlord Yoshimi, blessed be her name.
Yeah. We kind of like look at each other, like, yeah, don't say anything. So how much for a round of beers?
It says 2 copper. 1 copper.
Give me 10. Send half of them to that fucking table. You're about to see some shit.
All right. Let's
And 2 copper, you say?
one copper. 1 copper, because I realized I said that they were watered down.
So 1 copper per beer.
Hell yeah. We're not getting drunk. We're just getting hydrated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. You notice that, like, around that northern berserker, there's, like, easily just stacks and stacks of mugs. She does look drunk, I would say, but
So it's not. Yeah, there is alcohol in it.
right. You're gonna have to.
Starting at an advantage.
Well, Croc is also already drunk.
Well, this is perfect for day drinking, though. This is the perfect place for day drinking. So
Baseline for a dwarf is like 4 out of 10. Okay, like that first drink just put me right in the fucking slot. Now we're ready to actually start tying one on.
I think it's nighttime because we were just at the district that only has shops open during the night.
No, we're wasting time until we can go
until
there.
that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's where that magic guy was at.
Nope.
No.
He is also just on Craft Quarter.
Yeah, no, that's why we're drinking.
He was
Not that we need a reason, but
yeah, he was like based on Faye and Kim's belief, a bullshit hedge wizard that was pretending to be powerful. Sure fooled the hell out of Kronk, but you know.
Kronk gets punched in the head for a living. Like,
yeah,
that
doesn't take much.
Kronk doesn't do magic. He doesn't know. Yeah. Guys, like Kronk is. I was imagining like everywhere you're going. He's like, remember when that guy just appeared from a smoke and sparks?
That was service with style. Like, that's how I want all of my vendor. When I order a beer, I want the waiter to appear next to the table in a puff of smoke and drop that beer down.
Yeah. You hear somebody like recounting the tale of like Yoshimi teleporting the entire party. He's like, just like that wizard in the shop.
Right. Remember that time Yoshimi channeled all of her magical energy to destroy that frog thing? It's like, yeah, that was pretty cool. But that guy just in the shop, just in the blue smoke? With his arms crossed? Wow.
She never did that.
Wow. That was some real shit there, guys. Hey, you should go to wherever he went to magic school.
Okay. So do you have an idea for how you wanna roll this game that you wanna do here?
Well, I this is a way of life. I don't think there's no game about it. We just slam a beer down and it's gonna be, what is that, the Indiana Jones with the
Yeah.
They're starting off with the and then bam, yeah, fuck
Okay.
yeah, put them down.
What are you gonna say to her? She.
There's no words necessary. Like, she's a northern berserker. I'm a fucking dwarf. We're here to do business. Let's get this going.
Okay. All
Kim and Faye look at each other and be like, they're gonna end up headbutting. They always end up headbutting.
Okay, so we're not going to gamify this. So this is just how you spend the day, and then eventually the night falls, and Kronk and this like northern berserker are like standing on the bar, like Monster Hunter, like sprinkling their beers and just just yelling. Both of them yelling different songs. With different tunes, but at the same time, but like trying to like pick up sometimes like trying to pick up the words from the other one, like, and it was a jolly old beer, and we're having a beer. It's like, and I climbed a mountain, and it was tall. Like, wait, what? No. But eventually, yes, night falls, and you guys can make your way to the Plaza of Dark Delights.
All right.
You want a fortitude save for all that drinking?
Oh yeah.
How many would you like?
Well, you're gonna roll a d16 for it.
Oh, okay.
Because you're rolling down the dice chain. So let's start. Why don't we start with 1 and see what happens?
And see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, fortitude. Rocking it. 13 plus 6 is a 19.
Okay. Doesn't affect. So you're still gonna be on a d16, but you're just gonna stay at a d16. And you're just kind of, I guess, I feel like when you guys leave, right, you're kind of making your way to the Silver Eel or Golden Lamprey while they make their way to the Palace of Dark Lights. Is that what's happening, or
sure?
All going
yeah, I'll give them a stack of shit that'd be like, here's all of the oddities and curios. See what you can get for this. I'm gonna go collect information and have a drink with our lady friend. I'll meet you guys back at the inn that we're staying at. Completely real, like he's a little tipsy, so he doesn't even realize you guys haven't established an inn to meet at. But he's like, "I'll meet you back at the inn. We're good."
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Do you guys want to stop him at all, or
yeah, I think we should pick a place to meet because this is a big ass city.
Yeah.
Why don't we meet back here?
Back meat. That's delicious. Some of the most tender. Yeah, here. We'll come back and we'll get some back meat here in like a couple hours.
All right. Perfect.
Okay.
If you keep drinking, just bring them back here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Cheaper here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Assuming she can still walk. Yeah. Not going to drag her. Elves don't look kindly on dragging.
Be a gentleman, carrier. Get her a horse. Let's go. All right, we're out of here.
Yeah. No, I think she's staying for sure. All right. All right. So you guys make your way to the Plaza of Dark Delights. Let's see. Surrounded by the towers and tenements of Punjar and situated 7 blocks south of the Marsh Gate is a long open piazza covered with dark flagstones. Transform self. It has stalls, splayed out blankets, and open-mouthed baskets where the merchants of the plaza sell their wares, objects of questionable legality and dubious morality, not mortality. By tradition, all business is done in whispers, and the vendor stalls are lit by the soft dimness of imprisoned glowworms, bottled foxfire, and glowing fire pots with a single tiny window. The lanterns, in the darkness, the red lanterns rock in time to the swaying harlots' hips as they dangle from belts, and philosophers gather to debate and discourse. Drug peddlers, thieves, and assassins linger at the fringes, awaiting custom. So, why don't you, when you go in, Brian, why don't you roll a d8? I don't think you've rolled one.
Alrighty. 7.
Okay. In addition, there is a group of actors. Yes, Dave.
When was the last time we saw a guard?
That's a good question. I think the guards are not in this area.
Are they just outside the area? Or
no, I would say so. If you look at this, there's like Festival Street and what's this, Carter Street. They are kind of just patrolling there. Like you had to take some back alleys and stuff to get into here. And
Okay.
sure, I mean, I think that because of with that question, I'll say that you also kind of notice, people in black cloaks, kind of watching from the rooftops, and like you guys are semi-familiar with thieves in the Thieves Guild, right?
Mhm.
So you kind of recognize a couple of you recognize like that kind of thing happening, like thieves maybe
Sure.
just like quickly like reaching into people's pockets to like not to steal things but to see what they have and make sure that there's not any shenanigans gonna happen.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, then we'll just make our way to the.
Okay. So yes, the yes. So in addition, there is like a troupe of actors putting on a play in there, and they all look. They all have like several of them look like they've been bitten by creatures, and aren't looking in great shape. I guess I should also say that as night has fallen, a dense, dark fog has filled all of the streets. Right, so it's very dark, and while it's still crowded, it the stench kind of unwashed bodies and maybe dark magic is filling the streets in a way that it wasn't during the daytime. So you are in there, and yeah, why don't you're looking around, so why don't we see who you can find? Let's roll a why don't both of you roll a d20 to see which merchants you come across first?
Okay.
10.
10.
15.
Okay. So Brian, oh, interesting. Brian, you come across a person just covered in like dirt, and we'll say that they're sitting on a blanket, and there's all sorts of items arrayed out of all kinds of like they're all kind of various. There's nothing that is there's no like common theme among them, but you also notice just kind of like in the darkness a shovel that has some dirt on it as well. And he
Excavated from corpses.
right, and he says something along the lines of like, curios and heirlooms, mistress, curios and heirlooms. Oh, great. And Dave, I think
Yep.
right next to them there's another person that's kind of like giving that person a dirty look, and there are just like the like heads, like mannequin heads, and on
Okay.
those mannequin heads there are just like various faces with their eyes closed and their mouths shut, as though in death. And then there's also like fresh funeral shrouds for that you could place on, your dead relative or what have you.
Okay. So it's like these are like occult, like kind of things to for funeral processions or for
Yes.
for grave rituals.
Yes. So one is dealing in curios looted from tombs and graveyards, and the other is dealing in death masks and funeral shrouds.
Okay. And they're selling, or do they seem like they're buying?
Selling, buying, selling. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So. I guess I'll. Oh, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that Joan, seeing the beggar who is clearly a grave robber, takes grave affront to this, and she draws her sword and points at his neck as he lies down, and she goes, I see you've taken these from graves. Should I send you to meet their owners? And Lysander or Darrow goes, peace, peace. The lady means no offense. And she slowly puts her sword away, and she like scowls and walks on, and
Yeah.
Darrow just shakes his
I
head.
think as you draw that sword, like you feel just a bunch of people looking at you, and like it's like silent in that area for a moment, and there's just like this tension that fills the air. And then when she puts the sword away, people kind of go back to their business.
Okay. Yep. We just look at each other and go like, classic Joan. All right. So I will go up to the occult person, and I would like to try to sell them 23 black candles.
Well, I moved all of the shit that I gave you down to the bottom of vendor trash.
Oh, so you want to keep the black candles?
Oh, wait, you want to keep the black candles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
all the stuff down at the bottom there. We have the ornate dagger and the golden sheath. It was like a sacrificial dagger we looted from the temple.
All right. So how about the silver skull mask?
Yeah.
That's the cursed mask, by the way.
Correct.
It's definitely cursed.
Yeah. The vendor.
No, you're not. Yeah.
Looks at
I'm not saying that.
And here, let's
tries to put it on.
No. And it's one of those things where like they like pick it up and they're like very interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious they're very interested in it, but they're trying to pretend like they're not interested in it.
Okay.
It's like oh shit. I mean, yeah.
Trying to play it cool.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this silver. What is this? Is a mask made of silver in the shape of a skull? I could perhaps dig up some smendrix for this. And what were you thinking?
Well, we upon its acquisition, we were told it was a priceless item. So, would you care to make us an offer? A one-of-a-kind piece.
Yes. Says I don't have much in the way of gold, and as you said, it is a priceless item. Would you be interested in a trade?
What kind of trade are we talking here?
It says, come with me deeper into this alley, and I will show you.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. And I had like my hand. Yeah, so I have one. I mean, like, Faye has her hand on her lightsaber, and Cam has her hand on her longsword, mithril longsword. So, all right, let's see what this lady's got.
So
elves are so innocent. It hurts me.
You go into this alley, and she. Let's call it a she. That seems more fun. Takes out what appears to you to be a bird cage.
Okay.
And it is covered in like a thick purple drape. And she says that inside of this is one of the gilded masks of Djil, an old goddess of the city who took the sins of others and consumed them. And the temple was destroyed years and years ago. But one of the first acts of the Overlord, it's rumored, is she found the old temple of Djil and released the masks. And this is one of those masks, kept hidden for all of these many decades. Do not look upon it, for it.
I mean,
sins that it is maintained have great power.
It sounds really, really cool. But we were more looking to get rid of the occult item that we have.
She says that there is nothing that she could give you for it. Says,
do you know? So I asked her, do you know of anybody that would be interested in an item like this?
She says, well, I'm interested in it.
Right, but in terms of that would be able to offer me it's something close to its value in gems or in gold.
She says that of the masks that you have, no. I am interested in it. But in trade, it is rumored that Shilba of the Eyeless Face has been looking for the mask of Djil, and that Yoshimi, the Overlord, refused to give it to her.
Yeah, not interested. So if Yoshimi didn't give it to her, then how did you get it from Yoshimi?
This one escaped and was captured.
It escaped and
Yes.
was captured.
Yes.
What does this
Yoshimi,
mask
all right.
do exactly?
the mask of Djil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she says it is after the Overlord uncovered the Temple of Djil. Some of the masks escaped, and when they escaped, the sins that they had possessed were passed to the people of Punjar, causing a great riot throughout the city of lechery, wrath, thieving, etc.
Okay.
And it was only after several weeks that all of the masks were seemingly destroyed. Or at least that's what those in power would have you believe.
Interesting. Okay. Let me think about the mask. How about this?
Why haven't
limestone?
you destroyed this
Oh,
one?
jeez.
Well, because she's like, because it's this is also valuable beyond gold and measure.
But it only brings misfortune. What would someone do with this?
She says, I don't. I mean, she doesn't care. It's like, for the right price, I would sell it to anyone.
I think
How
we
much
should
is it
trade the mask for this mask, and then we should destroy this mask.
How much would the mask be worth in gold? Your mask?
That's a great question. Let's see. Ending the adventure. Well, I mean, she says it's priceless, but you suspect. I mean, I guess if you take like a peek at it, do you want to take a peek at it? You would have to look at it to know the value of it. Is I guess the answer.
No, what I want to say is just like I offer her like how much to buy it from you in gold.
She says it's priceless. She said
She's
she'll
not
sell
gonna
it
sell it.
for you for. She said I could part with it for that mask that you have, or 2,000 gold.
Okay, we'll think about it. How about this rune-covered gold-plated skull?
Yeah, this is not magical in any way, shape, or form. I think the issue here is that she just does not have, right, a ton of gold.
She's got nothing. She wants to trade the mask for the mask.
Yeah, I know, that's it. Okay, that's it.
She
All right, well,
she
let's go to the
probably
other
has
guy then.
like 20 gold, so she can offer you like 20.
All right,
gold for it.
we'll say like this is obviously a momentous decision to consider. We have to think about it. We'll be back, and we won't get rid of the mask yet. We'll promise. All right,
Okay.
whatever. All right, so let's go to the other people.
Okay. Well, why don't we? So you're not gonna try to sell to either of these people, and I don't feel like either of them have
I don't know. Maybe
anything.
we're gonna ask about it for sure.
So the person that looted curios from tombs and graveyards. Here, why don't we just like this is a situation where like let's roll to see how much gold they actually have.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So the gems and the gold. This guy does have gold because he.
All right, cool. So how about let's start with the ornate dagger in a golden sheath.
So this is the dagger that you got off of the former head of the Thieves Guild.
Yeah.
That's
why I didn't want to sell it in the weapons shop.
Right. Just going to take the dagger from you and draw it and look at it. And it also, since it appears to be totally made of gold, says that I would trade you 100 gold pieces for this dagger.
Okay. Do you know the history of this item?
He says that he's like, you've never drawn it?
No, I'm asking. We know the history of this item. I'm asking if you know how the historical value of this item.
No, he doesn't. But he is.
All right, so
he doesn't know the
right.
value of it, or he doesn't know the history of it, but he does know that when he drew it, that is a magic dagger, and
Yeah,
it does. So, just based on drawing it.
sure. Is that all right? So, what do you think, Brian? Should we take 100?
I don't know. It's up to you. I think that there might be someone who it holds more significance to that might pay more for it. It also
Yeah.
might be a useful bargaining tool if we come
I think
across
so,
the
too.
Thieves Guild again.
Yeah, I think so
100
too.
gold seems kind of low, but
I think so too. All right. We're not sure if we want to get rid of this one yet, but we wanted your opinion. Here's something we're looking to part with. How about a bronzed rod engraved with half demon faces? This is maybe more up your alley.
Yes. Yeah. He says, what were you thinking? You would trade for it.
25 gold pieces.
Yeah. He says, I'm happy to make that trade.
All right. How about a brass bound tome?
Again, how much do you think it's worth?
50 gold pieces. It's a very thick tome.
Man, my rolling continues to be like shit today. So he says, yes. Wait, do you guys know where this came from? Because I don't.
Yeah, I think we picked it up from like the frog thing, I think.
Oh.
It was from the temple. We walked in the room and had the statue sitting there. Yeah. There was like an altar in front of the statue, and on it was this book.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's a tome of Shafragoadaz.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why I said 50, because I was like, I think it's a good tome.
Yes, he agrees to buy it for 50 gold.
All right. How about the rune-covered gold-plated skull?
Again, what is your offer here?
I'm gonna say it's gold-plated, so I'm gonna say 100 GP.
100 gold pieces.
Yep.
And you've sold 2 things so far for 75.
Yep.
Okay. He's got a pretty good amount of gold. Why don't you roll like a person?
What do you want?
Check for it. Just like a person.
Oh no, I don't want person. All right, I'll do it though, just for funsies. Just because. So she does 7 and 8. Okay, I'll roll the 8. Here we go. We got a 19, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
You had a good day.
Well, this is interesting. Where did you get it? Where did it come from? What's the story behind it?
We traded a gold-plated mask for it somewhere along the way. They said they looted it, but this is honestly, and I will not exaggerate, decades ago that we acquired this, so we can't rightly say. It's hard to remember at this point. We had a bunch of beers this afternoon, and it's been decades. So, great question. You can tell we got a whole pile of shit here. We can't remember everything.
He says, "Well, but it came off of a corpse."
Yeah, let's say we've looted many things from corpses. Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's the magic word.
right. He's
I
selling
wanted to
things
roll
looted
another
from.
personality check, though, so I didn't want to say too much.
He's looted things from corpses. You've looted something from a corpse. Great.
All right,
Sold.
we're all corpse looters here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you have these 2 items left.
Yeah, we're gonna keep these 2 items.
Okay.
We're gonna hang on to those.
Okay.
And then let me scroll. So we want. So we're just gonna keep everything else. Okay, sounds good.
So we got 175 gold from
So
all
what
that.
I want to ask him. So I don't want to sell him these, but I want to show him. So it's not these candles on here. They're in my own inventory. Hold on.
Okay.
I have these candles that are beeswax candles, and they give me one. I can use them to give me like a point of spell burn each. Have you ever seen? I'm looking for more items like this that can help me with my spell casting. That are items that can aid me in that.
Yes. Says that you should go visit. Roll a d100.
Okay.
See if I can. I'm going to write down the name that you roll this time. So he says you should visit Kothar.
Kothar the Forger. Okay.
Kothar the Fence.
Kothar the Fence. Oh.
Yes. And you'll find him around the corner.
Okay.
And you'll know him because he is sitting on a purple rug.
Purple rug. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else in here, Brian?
No, not for me.
Cool. All right, let's go see Hothar the Fence.
Yeah. So you go to Kothar the Fence. Kothar the Fence is dressed all in black, has a purple rug. On the rug, there are several items. There are more candles like that. There's crystal balls. There are grimoires. There is a sword.
What's the sword like?
I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the purple sorcerer and roll it.
Beautiful.
Yes. So a magic sword, and you want to know what it does?
I mean, I would love to know. I would love to pick it up and spin it around and give it all, toss it around, weigh it, handle it if I can.
Sure.
But if it's like behind the glass, then I'll get as close a look as I can. I don't know.
No, you get the sense that this fence is not worried about you picking up the sword, right? Because if you try anything, you'll die, right? Or at least he believes you'll die. So as you pick it up and swing it around.
So while he's gone, I thought of this interesting character thing for Darrow. So if it's cool with you, Brandon, and Dave, I was actually going to buy a Warhammer from that person that you were going to have drinks with, and a hand axe and a dagger. So altogether, that would be probably about 8 to 10 gold.
Oh yeah, easy day.
Because like Ulesh in his depiction is just like covered in weapons, and he uses like violence to achieve peace, essentially. And so Darrow's like a disciple of that. So he just is like covered in weapons, and anytime he faces a human opponent, he always tells them to choose their path to peace, and they get to pick which weapon he uses in his fight.
Nice.
That's super cool. That's super cool.
Do you want that? We have that Star Steel dagger in our inventory. Maybe that. Could be
I'll use that, but I just want him to have like a lot.
Yeah, no, you want more. Yeah, but I'm saying that's one more. Yeah.
And then if he's fighting like non-sentient creatures that can't talk, he like closes his eyes and basically like Ulesh picks which weapon he fights with.
Yeah.
Nice.
Somebody get this man a gun.
Hell
Every
yeah.
once in a while, daggers,
javelin.
swords, spears, two-handed axes, and then every once in a while it's just a shotgun.
Those are the fights you win.
So the
Yeah.
thief. The thief says, "In your hands is the sword, Zokar. Zokar the sword. Thieved from the wizard Talu. The blade, once per day, can has the power of flame tongue. Basically allows you once per day to fire a cone of fire that is 40 feet long and 10 feet wide at the end. And it also is a weapon breaker. It can destroy any weapon made from common items.
Did you say 4D, like 40 feet long?
Yes, 40.
Buddy.
Very long.
That's
and
pretty good.
10 foot wide.
Flamethrower.
Yeah,
Nice.
basically a flamethrower once per day. All within take 2d6 damage and may catch on fire. Reflex save to avoid is D10 is 1d10 plus 10. So let's roll it on a 13 DC 13 to avoid. And the power 2 is it's a weapon breaker. And he says shortly after the sword.
Wait, the spell is a weapon breaker, or the sword?
The sword is a weapon breaker. So
Gotcha.
on a critical hit, it can destroy an opponent's weapon.
That's pretty good. I think one of us should probably have that. Sounds like a good weapon.
And
so what's it? Is it a plus? Plus what?
One longsword.
So I already
going to
have
be how you're going to afford it.
Yeah, so I already have a +1 longsword.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody in your party wants it, Brian.
Well, I guess how much does he want for it?
How much do you have?
Well, we have a priceless item that we just could barely trade for the most expensive item we could find here. It's a mask. It's a silver skull mask.
Looks at the mask, and he says, "For me, I would never use this.
Okay.
This is not.
How about this?
This is one of those things where
in a golden sheath.
Yeah, that's interesting when you pick that up. And he looks at
it. And I unsheath it a little bit to show him that it's magic.
When you unsheath it, you feel it vibrate in your hand.
It vibrates?
It vibrates in your hand.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Do I get okay. So I unsheath it completely.
Yeah, it just vibrates, and like it kind of vibrates towards the like sack of gold that he is wearing at his waist. So it's basically just you figure out that it's a dagger that can detect large amounts of gold that are nearby.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then we have some other weapons that we could trade as well.
Right. So
how does he react to this?
So I think when he sees the dagger, he's lustful for the dagger for sure. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very like he would recognize it as belonging to a master thief from long ago, right? But even then, right, it would take gold plus that in trade. So
okay,
I don't know how much gold do you have?
We have a lot of gold.
Okay. he says that he would trade it for the dagger and 200 gold.
All right, what do you think, Brian?
That's a little steep. How much would the price come down if we traded the dagger plus this, and I pull out the lightsaber and roll the 4 so it didn't explode? And it's like a purplish hue, and he does like a little flourish with it and then shuts it off.
Yeah, he also looks lustfully at this sword and says, I would trade 2 for 1.
I'm willing to do that if you are. I really want this sword.
Works for me if you don't want the lightsaber anymore, and like
this sword has better stats than that lightsaber does. I mean, the lightsaber's cooler, but
yeah, no, I'm just saying, yeah, go for it. I no objections. It's stuff for stuff, so that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, you trade for I can't remember what I named this sword, but you.
I was going to ask you what the name was. I don't remember either.
I mean, you can totally name it whatever you want to name it.
You just told me what it was. Hold on.
Zokkar. Zokkar.
You got it from the wizard Talu.
Got it from the wizard Talu. Stole it from the wizard Talu.
Stole it. Yep.
So keep that in mind. Could be a wizard that wants that shit back.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
+1 short sword, you said?
+1 long sword.
Longsword.
Neutral alignment. Intelligence 9. Communicates with empathy. Special purpose is to bring balance to a specific place. And so I'm going to finish the story of Talu, the wizard, real quick, so that you can understand what the balance to the specific place was. He says, after the sword was taken from Talu's tower, it's rumored that it collapsed. So, yeah, brought literal balance to Talu's tower.
Like,
what was the die roll on the flamethrower for damage?
So it's
DC 13.
Yeah, so jet is a cone 40 feet long and 10 feet wide.
Oh, 2d6.
All within take 2d6 and may catch fire, and they have to make a 13 to save. And then on a critical hit, the opponent's weapon is destroyed. And if the creature has natural weapons, they are maimed. Claws are broken, teeth are shattered, etc. And I think like this is like, you know, it doesn't break other magic weapons.
Just common, non-magic.
Right. But it could break mithril weapons too, right? So
yeah, because they're non-magic.
Right.
Okay. Does this guy have anything else that's magic?
He has those candles.
All right.
Also taken from Talu the wizard.
All right. I will buy some of those candles.
Sure. Let's see how many he has. He has 6.
Something tells me that Talu's not too happy with this guy.
Talu, yeah, probably.
Talu's probably under his tower. How much are the candles?
6 for 4 gold each.
6 for 4 gold each. Okay, I'll give him 20 for all 6.
He says, fine.
All right.
Obviously, this dagger is going to be very helpful in my career. So,
yeah, I think we'll break even probably in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I get the candles. So 6 candles.
Okay.
6 more beeswax candles. All right, cool. And then the last thing is like, do you have any poison that is effective in very small doses?
Like
a drop or 2 would be effective.
He says that he's just a fence, so he does not.
All right, I'll save the poison. Okay, I'm fine. That's good for me then.
Okay.
And then as a side note, like while he's bargaining, as Darrow picks up Zokkar, he hears in his mind, he says, "Greetings, traveler. Thank you for freeing me from that infernal thief. He's kept me on that tarp for over 3 weeks. God knows how long I've languished here before that. I would ask you if you would be so kind to bring me back to my master. Him and I have work to do.
Wow.
And Darrow's like, I will consider it.
You perform well for me. Maybe I'll let you go.
Yeah. I do feel. I feel like a magic sword, based on the rarity of magic swords, and a magic sword that was holding up a tower, might be something that someone wants back. I think that's right.
Possible.
Yeah, and especially since that was the purpose. Okay, cool. Well, let's. We spent a lot of time doing that. Why don't we move over to Brandon? So you're having a drink with the smith owner, or the weaponsmith, or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you doing the silver eel or the golden lamprey? Do you have a preference?
Silver eel, please.
All
Take
right. Let me.
the perceived cheaper of the two options here.
I think they're like literally the same thing. Sorry, let me find my neighborhood thing. All right, carousing quarter. The silver eel. The infamous silver eel is located out of the way on Dim Lane. The tavern is a favorite watering hole for just about every social class. Soldiers, sailors, tradesmen, fighting men, and even slumming aristos are all regulars. It enjoys modest notoriety as a preferred drinking dive of two heroes you may run into someday. But yeah, they grab a drink, and you're drinking with this person, and she's like, "Oh, thanks. I sold some more of my stuff today. Really hoping to leave this infernal city."
I hope that you may as well. I assume your distaste. Well, can we look around real quick and make sure that we're not in a position where we're easily overheard?
Sure.
Like maybe get a table close to the corner or something.
Sure. Let's see. I feel like, yeah, I think you can do that. And let's just air quality. Come on, give me like a random. Oh, there we go. A street scene. Okay, roll a D100. Let's see what the most notable person here is.
1. A 0 on the 100 dice and a 1 on the 10s.
Somehow, there's another group of northern barbarians just causing a ruckus, so no one can hear you because these northern barbarians are like drinking, singing, fighting, yelling at other people. Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of spur that on a little bit. I will slip the waiter a few. How much is a drink here?
I don't know. Probably a few silver pieces or something.
A few silver pieces?
A silver piece. Here.
Okay. I will slip the waiter a few silver and have them anonymously send over another round to keep the ruckus going while we have our little private chat in the corner there.
Oh, actually, you could do just really cheap for like a copper. So there you go.
Yeah, and they already look pretty wasted.
They're on their way.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the copper ones, and they probably can't taste the difference.
Okay.
All right. So I'll order something slightly nicer for her and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I am doing business, so I'm only I'm drinking it, but I'm taking like small sips and really, really pacing myself.
Right.
The information that I'm trying to get is I take it by your forced exit. There's no love lost between you and this town. Would you be able to give me any information on any I know the elf queen, long may she reign, fake salute.
Blessed be her name.
Blessed be her name, yes. Mm-hmm. Thalassian, or what's her fuck?
Yoshimi.
Yoshimi the Thalassian. And dwarf elf racial tension. And And could you possibly tell me, are there any factions in town that oppose her? Either directly or indirectly?
She says that the Queen Yoshimi, the Overlord Yoshimi, is well liked. Although she has empowered the elves over all the other races of the city, putting them into key positions in government, her advisors. But there's still room for humans and dwarves and halflings, because there obviously just aren't that many elves. And she says that some of the surviving minor lords oppose her, but they've never had really a lot of, I guess I would say, sway since the old overlord was deposed. And Yoshimi has made sure not to recreate the mistakes of the previous overlord and allowing the nobles to have too much power.
Do you think Yoshimi is aware of her guardsman's blatant shakedown of, otherwise law-abiding citizens?
She says that is the way that Punjar operates. That's the way Punjar, as far as she knows, has always operated. It's too sprawling, too many neighborhoods. And even it's rumored that the quartermaster of the Overlord overpays for weapons and armor because of the changing prices and the greasing of palms that happens throughout the city.
He overpays?
Mm-hmm.
Why not sell your wares to them?
She is like, you just bought her one drink. She's like, oh, they're just not, they just haven't ever come to my shop. There's lots of arms dealers in the city.
Okay, I'm not looking to buy arms. I got 2 that are good enough already. we're looking at weapons here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Terrible joke. If she doesn't laugh, then I'll buy her another drink and be like, clearly you haven't imbibed enough for my humor.
Yes. Yeah. No. She's like, I don't find it funny. I'm trying to leave this city.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. If my friends weren't rooted here, I'd be trying to leave as well.
Yeah. No, she says that it's rumored, I'll just read the rumor, it's not actually a rumor, that with graft rampant in the city, the sergeant at arms regularly finds materials have been embezzled or sold on the black market.
Do you happen to know of, you speak of this quartermaster, is he corrupt or he just is embedded with the way that the town does business?
I don't think he's corrupt per se. It's just that other corrupt people in the palace are take money from the treasury, sell the armor to the highest bidder. I'm sure he's doing his best.
Do you have a list of these other corrupt officials?
She doesn't. No.
She doesn't because she hasn't had enough to drink yet?
No, because she's a merchant.
Armor smith, yeah.
Okay.
Sidebar. I gotta go.
Okay. Well, then I guess at this point I'll just engage in some banal chit chat, trying to get her to drink a little more and see if she offers any additional information, or if she's just, just venting about her woes in the city, and in which case I'm happy to let her do that. And then after the couple hours are up, I'll go back to meet my party at the last place we were at.
Yep. So I think the one thing that I want to let you know is, oh yes, unfortunately the merchant's business has failed because she deals in shoddy goods.
That was a key piece of information that was glossed over earlier.
Yes, that like obviously she wouldn't tell you that her goods were shoddy, but anything that you purchase from that person has a 50% chance to break on use.
Holy shit. I don't think I bought anything from her. Also, as a dwarf, would I not just recognize that by looking at it?
You didn't ask.
I didn't. You are correct. Hey, fair play.
You guys just were like, oh, it must be like, clearly this NPC is telling me the truth. But yeah, no, upon getting the NPC drunk, she's like, I just don't understand. People are always returning my armor and saying that it didn't protect them.
Okay.
Well, coming back with broken swords.
Having just been shaken down by the local officials, you could see how our anti-establishment views would lead me to believe that she was the one that was being wronged, not she was wronging other people.
It could be both. There is a fee that she has to pay, a licensing fee and whatever. But yeah, no, she sells shitty shit. So Dave, those arrows, I'm just gonna have you roll a d20 every time you shoot them, and if you get less than a 10, they're gonna like break on the bowstring.
Okay, well, I think I've invested enough time in her. So we'll finish our drinks and then head back to meet my companions.
I was going to say, you guys go back to an inn, the inn that you were at before, the Cracked Chalice. And guests get a couple of rooms there for pretty cheap, maybe like a couple silver for the night. And rest, and I'll send this to Brian, but you guys gonna like share a room?
Crump does not feel comfortable staying with Joan. He finds her very abrasive, and from his perspective, she has a very muted sense of justice. She's like, we gotta be a peacekeeper, but like this guardsman shaking down a folk, it's like the guardsmen, because we would be overwhelmed, it's okay that the guardsmen shook us down because my violence against the guardsmen, anyway, Kronk does not trust Joan, not even in a little bit, thinks that her moral compass, while straight as an arrow, does not necessarily point north. But he himself is a chaos gremlin, so he's maybe not the best judge of character. Anyway, he doesn't want to sleep in the same room as her.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that the walls are thin then, and you can hear Lexalia speaking to them. I'm going to text this to him. And she says to them, while much has changed in the city, time means little to the gods of law and chaos, and the struggle continues ceaselessly. In the cursed and forbidden temples of the city, Azazel maintains his vigil, and the Carnifex grows stronger. Justicia demands you seal her away forever, lest the great enemy's daughter returns to his side. You've done much to revive the lords of law from their torpor. Now we must press our advantage.
Yep. Yeah, we gonna fight eventually, that's for sure.
And that's the players of Tales from the Tarnished Jewel and Beyond are Brandon, Brian, and Dave, your judges will. In this session, we utilize several elements from DCC's Lankhmar setting, based on the works of Fritz Leiber. These elements include the Lankhmar map, drawn by Doug Kovacs, Lankhmar, City of the Black Toga, and the Compendium of Secret Knowledge. We play using the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rules as published in the 9th and 10th printing. Nearly all tokens used by the players and judge were designed by the artists at 2minutetabletop.com. Music is Higher Octane by Vans in Japan. If you like what we're doing here, please rate, review, like, or subscribe. Thanks!